Hello friends, I'm Christopher and this is my philosophy on amending raised beds with compost. It's spring, as you can tell by the rain here in Gardening Zone 5A, and it's time for me to start sowing some of my cold hardy crops. I recently did this half of one raised bed with carrots, and I thought I would elaborate my philosophy on adding compost to the beds before I get started.
Compost is for sale incredibly inexpensively at a local city garage, so I like to take advantage of that while using some of the compost that we make here from biomatter in our own house. So I picked up, probably 30 gallons worth, and I got started. So these raised beds we built in 2018, and they worked really nicely. One of the goals, one of the reasons I wanted to have raised beds was so that we could have amended soil. So this particular mixture here is, the clay from around me, some sand, some mulch, perlite. It makes it nice and loose. I can grow root vegetables really well. By leaving it settle in a raised bed instead of tilling, I can have a nice mycelial layer develop underneath. And I also have a rotting log going down the middle of this that provides moisture for the roots throughout the season. So to begin, as you've been seeing me doing here, I take my tines and I just break up some of the big bits of soil on the top. It's the middle of April and this soil is already thawed and nice and loose, which is pretty early in our area. Because of all the biomatter that's in compost, it's going to break down over the summer. So I liberally add compost to the top of the raised beds here. When it's all said and done, it's going to raise up about an inch or an inch and a half from the top where it is right now, which is good. We'll be mixing this compost in with the top layer of soil. Now, it depends on what you're doing, but you don't always have to do this. If you are a total no-till, no disrupt the soil kind of person, you could just put compost on the top and call it a day and let those nutrients trickle down into the soil as it rains and as the material breaks down over the summer. But for me, I'm just mixing it in the top 2 or 3 inches, which is great. Since these seeds I'm going to be burying in ½ inch to an inch holes, I've got the compost nutrients right there as the seeds are germinating. The roots don't have to get down for a while, and they don't have to wait for the rain to bring those nutrients down to the newly forming roots. Like I said earlier, what you see me doing here is mixing in that compost with the rest of the soil that we had loosened up a couple frames ago. And there are some big clumps that come up, but eventually I just go back with my hand and I squeeze them and they break apart really nicely. Of course, you don't want to be planting seeds in soil that is, frozen into golf ball sized balls, because that's just not conducive to growth. But what I have here is really very nice. So next I've got this old tine, and it's just my way of making rows. I've got the relatively appropriate spacing for carrots here. There are plenty of methods for how you want to space your holes and either dig a hole or dig a trench. That's a topic for a different video. But anyways, I've got a nice mix of compost and dirt here, and when the seeds go in, I just put them on top and I gently move the soil compost mixture over it and pat it down with my hands. Nothing compact, nothing too firm. That's the nice part about these raised beds. It's good loose soil as opposed to planting in ground where it's relatively firm and compact. It's just a benefit of raised beds. Using this philosophy of adding compost to raised beds, we have seen noted success growing beets, carrots, radishes, all sorts of root vegetables that up until this point we haven't been able to grow in the dense clay soil of our area. So of course this last frame here is just to say water in your seeds, and you'll notice as the water goes over it, the soil settles a little bit. That's the air that's between the compost and the dirt, and things just settling in. It's a beautiful picture.
So what do you do to amend your raised beds? Do you use compost? Do you use something different? Let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks a lot for tuning in. Check out some of the other gardening videos we've got, and have a wonderful day. Bye.